Yesterday, I was reading the vice president's statement when he was commissioning the 21 billion naira so-called resident for vice president. And a part of that speech provoked me, where he said that the provision of a suitable residence for the vice president was not merely a matter of convenience, but a symbol of respect for the office and the individuals who occupy it. Politicians who have presided over poverty and unemployment and widespread insecurity still want to have respect from the citizens that they have pauperized. It doesn't matter to these politicians that over 60 million Nigerians are on the brink of starvation. It doesn't matter to them that thousands of small businesses have folded up and that millions of young people are desperate and hopeless. To these politicians, you are not empowered citizens with rights. You are merely helpless subjects who should be grateful for the scraps that they dish out to you. But they forget that economic stagnation and starvation will always radicalize citizens and breed extremism. That's why you see a preponderance of violence across our country. That's why you see the rise of non-state actors everywhere across Nigeria. They forget that the people who have nothing to lose will have no other option but to revolt. That's why every day you are in traffic now in Lagos, you have people trying to pull away your side mirror to break your windscreen just to get something out of you. If people who have nothing to lose will have no fear revolting. How can you have a country where there is over 40% of food inflation and the priority of the elite class is to be funding white elephant projects that add no value whatsoever to the Nigerian people? Yet they have kept tariffs high on the importation of food. The Lagos state government last week cut off the 25% subsidy on public transportation, even though it has now more revenue after petrol subsidy was ostensibly removed. They can't even subsidize 25% of public transportation. Saboda Allah, saboda Annabi. Subhanallah, saboda Allah, saboda Annabi. They cannot even subsidize 25% of public transportation. Yet they ride on the latest SUVs. Governors in 3 months have spent 34 billion on local and international travel. 34 billion. They have spent 5.1 billion on refreshments in just 3 months. These are the elite class that want you to continue tightening your belt for them, that want you to show them respect. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. It's why I tell young people, you have no business bothering about what, the generations of Yokupe see on television. Why are you bothered about that? It's your future that's on the line. You don't need affirmation from a political class that has failed you, that have mortgaged your future. You don't need affirmation from any generation than the urgency required to save your future and your destiny. It doesn't care. You shouldn't care less what people in their 60s or 70s think about an administration or not. What's your business with that? Does that put food on your table? I tried to order a bag of potatoes. I love chips. I tried to order a bag of potatoes from Jos. A bag is 150,000 naira. A bag of potatoes, 150,000 naira. But that incompetent political class wants you to continue to submit to them, to hold them in majesty. Even the chicken that lays the so-called golden egg, the NNPC, where your wealth is tied to as a country, right? You're barely able to meet the quota that has been given to you by OPEC. We have a quota of 1.9 million barrels of oil per day. We're struggling to meet 1.3 million barrels of oil. Meanwhile, in 1970, we're doing 2 million barrels of oil per day. But the incompetent political class that you have are unable to even do what was done in 1970. Now, mind you, of that 1.3 million barrels of oil that is produced per day, a quarter of it is already tied to loan repayments. So it adds no value to you. A quarter is already tied to loan repayments. Afri Exim Bank and so on. Tied to loan repayments. Again, the unit cost of production in our country is $48 per barrel. The average global benchmark is between $10 to $12 per barrel. Countries that are at war and countries that are under sanctions, Iran, Iraq, they are producing between $10 to $12. We are doing $48 per barrel. Your future has essentially been mortgaged. Because there's no way out of this. Look, listen. You know, we're in a mess. And Abuja does not have the solution. Listen, anybody who tells you that the current political elite, the current governing class can get you out of the woods is fooling you. If we're in trouble.